two massive new discoveries was just found in Wind Waker within the span of only a day, which will finally allow us to be able to pursue the 1 hour barrier. And I will happily say that within the near future, Wind Waker can finally be beaten in under an hour. Now, these glitches were just found, so we haven't had time to optimize the speedrun itself yet. A lot of runs is about to come up on my Twitch channel, but I would like to put this video out and kind of explain the two new skips that was just found, and also breaking down how this new speedrun is going to look. So first off, what are the two new discoveries? Well, one is a new way of doing barrier skip, and one is a way to skip the grappling hook by clipping through the floor in Ganon's tower early. Now, how is this not discovered before, and how does this work? Well, first off, how does it work is basically that if you hold a bomb over your head and you press the B button, the bomb is going to push you forward. Now, the amount of speed that you get pushed forward in this one frame is actually enough to go through the invisible wall of the barrier in only one frame. But there's a lot more parts to this, because we've tried this before, and there's a reasoning this wasn't discovered before. So first, to perform this trick, you want to go up to the barrier and take out the Wind Waker on the same frame that you're about to get damaged again. This will actually cancel out the damaged part of the barrier entirely, so you can now be past the damaged part, but we still have the invisible wall. Now at this point, we want to do a crazy setup, and I'm sure there's going to be new setups discovered in the future that's going to be faster, but for now on, this is the best one we've found, and it's kind of impressive that this one even works to begin with, because the precision of this cannot be understated. You need to go down to like literally a 1/10 of a unit on your XYZ positioning in precision. It's kind of crazy. So basically what you need to do is you need to follow this crazy setup by getting the specific angle, and then you're in spot. You're now slightly to the right of the center where the two invisible walls meet up. And there's a single pixel in between the two invisible walls that meet up in the middle of this bridge where there is no collision. And if you happen to go in with a perfect angle and you have enough speed to go through it in one frame, you can pop through. Now, why is this so precise? Well, basically, when Link has a bomb in his hand, he's actually shifting his body slightly to the left and to the right. And this is actually going to change how you're going to get pushed forward with the bomb. So you need to time not only to line yourself up perfectly, but you also need to frame perfectly, drop the bomb at a specific part of your shuffling animation. And by doing so, it will allow you then, if you do this frame perfectly, to drop the bomb is going to go behind Link's head, push him forward with such a momentum that you can pop through the barrier, and you have now officially skipped the barrier, and we are basically go mode. We are able to just go to Ganon's tower and complete the game. Now, this wouldn't be such a big time save if it wasn't for the addition of grappling hook skip. So, for the longest time, even routes that didn't necessarily need the grappling hook, you wanted to use for two reasons. Number one, the grappling hook is necessary to be able to reach the final platform so that you can actually pick up the DK leaf, because without the grappling hook, you couldn't reach the platform where the DK leaf is placed at. Thankfully, with the setup, we're able to zombie hover up by basically mashing the B button when we reach 0 HP perfectly. And by following along this tree, you can reach the very top of the tree, land on the DQ leaf before you actually touch the ground, picking it up while you're zombie hovering, and you can then save and quit the game after you pick it up and obtain it without the grappling hook. The second obstacle was climbing Ganon's tower itself. Now this part gets a little bit tricky. So the actual way to get past the first part, which was never known before, we were never able to figure this out, was recently discovered. So by doing this precise setup, by basically doing a jump slash on the chain, backflipping 3 times, and then crawling slowly backwards, if you stand up in this positioning, then you're actually going to get crushed by basically standing too close to the actual ceiling. But if you're able to uncrouch at the very exact time as you're about to get crushed, then because Link stands up, you're going to be so much through the ceiling in that one frame that you're just going to pop up to the top and actually not getting crushed to begin with, and you not gotten past the first part. Unfortunately, there is still testing that needs to be done on the second part, because currently the only two methods we have is either to shoot a Morph through the platform, and his fire that he gets basically set on fire with will burn the pod lid itself, or B, do a zombie hover up. However, not only is the Morph hover shot extremely precise, it only has a 1 in 3 chance to work right now, even if you hit it perfectly. So we're trying to find a better way around that. but we are still able to actually get to the end of the tower without the grappling hook, which is still a massive discovery. Because the actual obstacles to get this grappling hook just for these two things is quite long. You basically have to go get a bottle from a submarine, then super swim and take a bunch of damage, head over to Dragon Roost, do a zombie hover to skip the delivery bag, enter Dragon Roost Cavern, go through the first room, do another zombie hover up, then go through 3 different rooms, then beat the mini boss of the dungeon to get the actual grappling hook. On top of that as well, to be able to do these 2 zombie hovers, since you need to survive these zombie hovers by getting healed, it required you to use an item known as the Tingle Tuner, which means you also had to watch a 2-minute cutscene of rescuing Tingle from the jail cell to obtain this item to begin with. But now we can thankfully skip all of this. So now, when I've shortly gone over how the actual new 2 tricks are, how does the route look? And I'm happy to say this is the best any percent route that has ever been used in the Wind Waker speedrun, in my opinion. And this has only been out for a day. I've only been able to finish 1 run. 3 runs have been done with this route, and it's absolutely amazing. So, how does this work? Well, the run started off as normal. You do a manual super swim, you head over to Dragon Roost, and you get the Wind Waker. You then super swim over to Forsaken Fortress, you enter the submarine, and the guards is going to run warp you to Forsaken Fortress 1. You go through Forsaken Fortress 1 with your crazy glitches, climbing up walls, you know the whole shenanigans. Then you get to the end, you watch the cutscene with Helm Rock, and you're now at Windfall Island. And this is where the route takes a crazy turn. Basically, you want to do double storage, and then you're going to do something that you have never seen in a main category of in a very long time, and that is something known as door storage. I basically get this glitch in a storage, and I store opening up a door. And to put that in simple terms, I basically interrupt the act of opening up a door. And when you open up a door, the game changes Link's collision to actually be able to walk through walls, because he's supposed to be able to walk through the door, since it actually is a solid wall. But because I interrupted this, I will be able to play with these collisions. But the problem being is that the game voids out to pitch black because I was supposed to go through a loading zone. So I need to maneuver in a complete pitch black mode all the way through the game. But if I'm able to do that, then I can go all the way over to actually Western Theory and then just walk right through the wall, pop down inside of the island, and go and get a quiver upgrade, which is going to allow me to actually have usable arrows for the end of the run. After that, I then do a glitch known as double storage, so I can basically store something while I'm super swimming. I then super swim to Greatfish Island, and this is something a little bit crazy. I basically want to super swim into the cutscene trigger as Greatfish, but before I activate the cutscene trigger for Greatfish, I'm actually drowning. So I'm in the animation of drowning, the game is voiding out, but because I have storage active, the in-game actual effects are still being played out. And while the game is voiding out and Link is drowning, the cutscene activates, and then you skip watching the cutscene for Greatfish, but the Endless Night event still triggers, which means the actual pirate ship is now at Windfall Island. I then sail to Windfall Island, I end up actually doing password skip, I enter the pirate ship, I get the bombs, and we now have the bombs. We then double storage, head our way over to Forest Haven, and now when we're at Forest Haven, we now do a crazy dive down underneath Forest Haven, and we enter it. Now, before I want to enter, I actually want to take damage by this squid right here. Because by taking damage by this little oct over here, I can then enter Forbidden Woods with setting myself up for the zombie hover coming up. I then do Decatur cutscene skip, which has been in many previous runs. Basically, you skip watching the cutscene of the Decatur spawning the Deku Leaf. After that point, I then get into the corner, I do a lineup, I actually place a bomb, and I zombie hover up a tree, and by perfectly mashing and by hovering up towards the tree, I can get pushed to the side at a perfect time when I'm really high up into the air, and I can then hover up over the Deku Leaf, pick it up, and we now got that. After that, you then simply super swim past the entire ocean, you store a chest which makes the entire game pitch black, you then jump into the water, you super swim all the way to Forsaken Fortress, and when you get to Forsaken Fortress, you then basically clip through the corner of Forsaken Fortress, you walk up all the walls, you jump into the loading zone, and we're now watching the Helm Rock cutscene. After that's done, we now head up the tower, fighting Helm Rock, but this time he's loaded unlike the previous route. So what do? We get down to 1.5 heart. We jump and leap across, grab the corner of this wall, and just walk right through the wall. We then crawl underneath, jump past him. We're now down to high roll once again. At high roll, we do this crazy setup for barrier skip that I was going over before by doing these crazy C-ups and angle changes. And if done perfectly, when you drop the bomb, you pop right through the barrier, and you can now just head your way over to Ganon's tower. I make my way through Ganon's tower like normal. I do the trial skip. I end up obtaining the light arrows, and then I head my way up. I fight Puppet Ganon, and then I end up, after defeating Puppet Ganon, going up onto these chains. I do this crazy trick to skip the grappling hook, and then after that, I zombie hover up. I drop a bomb on the pod, and then I head my way over there once again. I do the Morph glitch. I blow the Morph up on the final platform, and then we shoot the Morph. We drop a bomb. We do another zombie hover up to the heart, enter the final boss fight. And the final boss fight is completely messed up because Endless Night is still active in the actual like ocean you're in. So the entire cutscene has wrong lighting. It's dark, moody, it's rainy, it's really funny, it's thundering. And then you fight Ganondorf with only 1 heart because you don't have the grappling hook. But if you're able to do all of that, you have successfully completed a new any % speedrun, which is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love this route. There's so many crazy things going on. I can't wait to run this. On top of that as well, I'm happy to say that if you want to learn Wind Waker, but you were never able to do the manual super swim, this route is the most noob-friendly route because you can actually only take a small time loss, not do manual super swim, and you can still follow along this route just like normal. It's still going to be a very difficult speedrun, but I do plan to make an updated tutorial video for you guys on the beginner method that does not use the manual super swim glitch. So people that want to pick up Wind Waker will actually have a chance. But without further ado, that is basically a overhaul of the new route, what the new glitches are all about. I really hope you did enjoy this quick update video. I'm currently making this at 7:45 in the morning. I need to wake up in a couple of hours, but I wanted to get this out to you guys before I went to bed. So I hope you did enjoy the video. If you don't watch these runs live, I'm going to be grinding these speedruns a ton with this new route, trying to push for that sub 1 hour barrier. Be sure to check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Linkus7. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Later, guys. Bye-bye.